Before me, the familiar sight of red bricks and green tiles unfolds as I crouch down to gaze upon Lu Jinjin, her delicate features adorned with tears reminiscent of pear blossoms. As the legitimate daughter of the Prime Minister, with an aunt who is a favored consort of the Emperor, I have been brought up under the strictures of royal etiquette since childhood, serving as a paragon among the noble ladies of the capital. In my previous life, she wept before me in this very manner, and in my naivety, I, adhering to the virtues of a gentlewoman, could only stand helplessly as she enacted her role of a fragile white lotus. This led to my public reprimanding by the Crown Prince, who subsequently whisked Lu Jinjin away in his arms. Reflecting on this, a sardonic smile graces my lips. Sister Lu, I have yet to act against you, yet you plead for my mercy so fervently. If I do not bring your little performance to fruition, I would indeed be remiss in honoring your theatrical display. Come forth, strip her of her garments, and toss them into that pool over there. Lu Jinjin, disheveled and floundering in the water, cried out, "Ah, please, no. Let go of me, Sister Jingzhu. I have realized my mistake. I knew this wretched woman was an exceptional swimmer, and her theatrics were nothing more than a ruse to await the arrival of her noble cousin, the Crown Prince." The maids around me exchanged bewildered glances, and my gaze turned icy. "Qiu, go to the front hall and inform the Crown Prince that I am unwell and cannot receive guests at this moment." On this day in my previous life, the Crown Prince had unexpectedly visited, and I had assumed it was to apologize for the grievances of days past, but instead, he arrived to play the gallant hero. Lu Jinjin deceitfully claimed that a family heirloom, a golden jade bracelet, had been lost in the back garden of the minister's residence, and as I happened to pass by, she sought my assistance in searching for it, only to turn the tables on me. Before a multitude of young ladies in the capital, the Crown Prince harshly demanded that I surrender the item, his fervent defense of Lu Jinjin stirring sympathy among the onlookers. One maid hesitated, saying Miss, His Highness, did not send an invitation today. I scoffed. Ah, he would naturally come for someone. Go and inform him. Lu Jinjin, you have heard. This situation cannot be reported today. Once you have splashed about enough, you may come ashore yourself. In my previous life, at this juncture, Lu Jinjin was not yet my stepsister. She was the adopted daughter of the Vice Minister of Justice, possessing a beauty that could captivate a nation and was revered as the most exquisite maiden in the capital. I had made her acquaintance at a banquet, believing I had discovered a kindred spirit, only to find myself ensnared by a venomous serpent. With her stunning visage and masterful acting, she ensnared the heart of the Crown Prince, Qianqiu. Subsequently, Lu Jinjin transformed into my stepsister, receiving my father's doting affection, while my mother, enamored by her resemblance to a long-lost friend, indulged her every whim. Thus began my true nightmare. I fell victim to her schemes time and again. Whenever I dared to retaliate, she would weave sweet words and shed tears, allowing the matter to be swept under the rug, while I was branded as the envious one. I dismissed the onlookers, and Lu Jinjin, in a pitiful state, crawled out from the pool. Grasping her hair, I laughed with abandon. Lu Jinjin, this is merely the beginning. I returned to my chamber, where everything was arranged as it had been before my marriage. I closed my eyes and reopened them, struggling to accept the reality before me. Perhaps the divine had glimpsed my impending doom and bestowed upon me a chance at rebirth. My mother hurried in, her expression displeased. "Sure, I have heard that you struck Jinjin. What on earth transpired?" I replied nonchalantly. "The Lu girl is unruly and disrespectful, behaving like a shrew in her affronts toward me. I merely administered a minor punishment." My mother, puzzled, said, "Jinjin has always been gentle and courteous, and you two have been amicable. Why this sudden discord?" My mother, of the noble Gu family, had once shared a past with Lu Jinjin's father, but fate had conspired against them, leading to their separation due to social standing. Perhaps out of love for the girl, my mother often remarked how much Lu Jinjin resembled her father, and every time she visited, my mother would inquire after her with utmost concern. One may know a person's face, but not their heart. Perhaps today, her true nature has finally revealed itself. My mother sighed. "Sure, do not take offense at my words. You are to become the crown princess, the future matriarch of the palace. How can you act so recklessly? It is merely an invitation from the crown prince for Jinjin to attend a palace banquet. Is this truly worth your ire?" I sneered. Jinjin, Such an affectionate address. Mother, one might think she is your own daughter. Mother, you are the wife of the Prime Minister. I remind you to always be mindful of your status. Some people and matters are not worth aspiring to. My words dripped with sarcasm, laced with veiled threats. Moreover, Lu Xinjin is merely the adopted daughter of the Lu household. She bears no resemblance to the esteemed Vice Minister of Justice you hold dear. My mother's face turned ashen as she stormed out. Who are you? The maid Xiao Ju entered. Miss, the Crown Prince requests to meet you by the pool. It seems His Highness is rather displeased, I mused, rubbing my neck. Does he not understand human speech? If so, let him wait. Xiao Ju, go to the kitchen and fetch me something to eat. By the way, did the Crown Prince not gift me a golden koi fish a few days ago? Prepare it in red braise for me. And be sure to pass by him so I can express my thanks for the fish. Miss, that koi is something the Crown Prince has nurtured for a long time. This may not be appropriate. I interjected. Once it has been given to me, how I choose to treat it is my concern. Rest assured, I will handle everything. That koi fish was a congratulatory gift from the Crown Prince, but a few days ago, he suddenly changed his mind and decided to present me with a renowned painting instead. According to Xiao Ju, after inviting Lu Xinjin to a banquet, he intended to gift the koi to her as a birthday present. However, upon learning this, my aunt dispatched someone to deliver it to my residence. The Crown Prince Qi Yanxiu had a profound passion for fish, and this golden koi was a once-in-a-100-year find. Today, I shall braise it before my cousin's very eyes. It smells delightful. The flavor must be exquisite. Xiao Ju reported nervously, Miss, the Crown Prince has barged in. I leisurely picked up a piece and savored it. What's the rush? Sure. What on earth are you doing? Qi Yanxiu exclaimed in fury. His beloved koi lay before me, and I deliberately chewed slowly. In the next moment, his brow furrowed. Ugh. Your Highness. Xiao Ju, wait outside. Qi Yanxiu's face turned pale. Sure. What have I done to offend you? I smiled faintly. Cousin, what do you mean by that? Xiao Ju should have told you that I am unwell today. It was you who insisted on barging in. So how can you blame me? Here. This is a culinary masterpiece freshly made by the kitchen. It is truly delicious. Do sit and try some. Qi Yanxiu took a deep breath. Sure. That day, my encounter with the Lu girl was merely coincidental. Knowing you two are close friends, I thought to extend an invitation to her. If you are angry with me over this matter, that is quite unreasonable. Coincidental? So coincidental that he could gift away his cherished possession without a thought for me, his cousin. Qi Yanxiu, clad in resplendent robes, stood before me, his countenance radiating coldness and superiority. Sure, I have heard that you had someone push Lu Xinjin into the water. Where's your upbringing gone? Look, here it comes again. In my past life, the Crown Prince had repeatedly chastised me publicly for Lu Xinjin's sake, berating me for my lack of decorum and claiming I lacked the qualities befitting a Crown Princess. I became a laughingstock among the noble women of the capital under his and Lu Xinjin's deliberate smear campaign, while Lu Xinjin, with the Crown Prince's covert assistance, smoothly ascended to the position of side consort. In an instant, she became the envy of all noble ladies in the capital. Yet, Lu Xinjin was not satisfied. She invaded my chamber and tore my wedding gown. The Crown Prince did not reprimand her, but rather urged me to remain silent, stating that a new gown could simply be made. As the legitimate daughter of the Prime Minister, I bore the weight of maintaining my family's honor. The position of Crown Princess was bestowed by the Emperor, and I felt powerless to alter my fate. I knew that the Crown Prince's heart belonged to another. I had implored him on numerous occasions, expressing my willingness to be a nominal wife, hoping he would grant me a modicum of dignity out of our long-standing bond. Yet in my previous life, I had compromised to the utmost, only to receive naught in return. Therefore, in this life, I shall choose a different path. I spoke plainly. Crown Prince, spare me your pretense. Do you think me blind to the affection between you and Lu Xinjin? I am not one to disrupt a couple. Since you and Lu Xinjin are so enamored, I shall inform my aunt tomorrow of my willingness to relinquish the position of Crown Princess to her. Qi Yanxiu's expression shifted dramatically. Sure, how cruel you are. You are merely pushing Xinjin into a pit of fire. Is it so intolerable for you to see her thrive? I shrugged. No more pretense, Crown Prince. This marriage is not of our choosing. You do not wish to place her in peril, so you are willing to sacrifice me? I am your own cousin. Do you think I desire to be your crown princess? Spare me your repulsion. Qi Yanxiu was taken aback, seemingly unprepared for my audacity. Sure. Have you lost your senses? I waved my hand dismissively. No more words are necessary. Xiujuan, show our guest out.
Sure.
I will not marry a girl from the Liu family. The position of crown princess will forever be yours, and no one can take it from you. You are burdened with worries. Take good care of yourself these days, and on the Qiqiao festival, I shall take you out for a day of enjoyment. Despite my clear insinuation, he continued with his insincere sentiments. How ridiculous. I feigned deafness and declared loudly, Qiujuan, I have lost my appetite. Take this plate of fish away, and feed it to the dogs. The Qiqiao festival? It suddenly dawned on me. It was the day Lu Jinjin had torn her own Kongming lantern before my eyes and turned to my cousin, the crown prince, to feign innocence and frame me. Qi Yanxiu did not afford me a chance to explain, shielding Lu Jinjin behind him and pushing me to the ground in the street. Bystanders mocked me, hurling a torrent of venomous words in my direction. Some even composed a ballad titled The Jealousy Ballad of the Capital. In the capital dwells a noble lady, who cherishes not treasures, but the vinegar of jealousy. She deceives the innocent and shatters lanterns, stirring the seas of jealousy for her beloved. On the 7th day of the 7th month, I set out early. The flower street was abuzz with life. I carried a charming rabbit lantern to a secluded spot I had discovered in my past life and took up my brush to inscribe my wish. May evil deeds be repaid, and my heart find peace. Footsteps approached from behind. Sister Jingzhu, is that you here? My heart sank. The fact that she could locate me so quickly in my previous life hinted at a troubling reality. After days of investigation, I finally discerned that the issue lay with those closest to me. The maid by my side immediately lowered her head, and I smiled. Qiujuan, have I not treated you well all these years? What promises did Lu Jinjin make to you that you would turn against me, you wretched creature? Or perhaps it is Qi Yanxiu, I retorted. Qiujuan knelt, pleading for mercy, still attempting to feign innocence. I raised my hand. You lot. Take this treacherous maid back and punish her with 30 strokes. If she survives, send her to the brothel and ensure the proprietor treats her well. Qiujuan was dragged away by the attendants, and I watched coldly, gripping the lantern tightly. Miss, I was wrong. Spare my life. Miss Lu, save me please. Your Highness. Come save me. Not far away, Lu Jinjin witnessed the scene, nearly collapsing. I couldn't help but chuckle. Lu Jinjin, you're quite the capable one. Now it's just you and me here. Drop the pretense. Lu Jinjin gritted her teeth. Xin Jingzhu, you viper. The crown prince will arrive shortly. Let's see how you fare then. I remained unperturbed. What? Planning to lodge a complaint again? What can Qi Yanxiu do to me? But you? Have you already pledged your life to him so swiftly? In this romantic setting, should I vacate the space for the two of you? Lu Jinjin's eyes widened. You slanderer. My encounter with the crown prince is purely coincidental. Ha! Another coincidence. Xin Jingzhu, I know you despise me. You may wield your influence to bully me. Yet the more you do so, the more the crown prince will pity me, and you shall only drive him away. How about we place a wager to see whether your crown prince cousin believes me or you? Lu Jinjin's laughter was laced with malice as she seized a Kongming lantern and tore it piece by piece into shreds. In my past life, she had acted just this way. No. Sister Jingzhu, I bear you no grudge and truly regard you as a kindred spirit. Why must you treat me this way? Is it because this lantern was a gift from the crown prince that you wish to destroy it? I rubbed my forehead, observing the wretched creature's convincing performance. I had not lost in my previous life. Her conviction was indeed unparalleled. A sudden force collided with me, nearly knocking me off balance, and I inwardly scoffed. Oh, he has arrived so swiftly. Sure, what is this commotion about? Why do you persist in haranguing Jinjin? Qi Yanxiu shielded Lu Jinjin behind him, eyeing the lantern on the ground. I did not expect your envy to be so profound. I misjudged you. Apologize to Jinjin. I shot him a cold glance. Which of your eyes saw that I did this? You hurl accusations without discernment. With such intellect, I advise you to reconsider your position as crown prince, lest you be played for a fool. The evidence is irrefutable. What do you have to say in your defense? Could Jinjin possibly destroy her own lantern, which bears her blessings for her family? The crowd was growing larger. the familiar scene from my past life replaying itself. I clapped my hands in approval. If that is the case, then let us inform the authorities. I cannot bear this injustice lightly. Qi Yanxiu was furious. Xin Jingzhu, you are a lady of noble birth, a paragon of virtue. How can you be so unrepentant for your mistakes? Do you not feel any shame for your character flaws? I squeezed out a few tears. As a mere woman, I am wrongfully accused by a man of your stature. I am truly aggrieved, only seeking the heavens to restore my innocence. Is that too much to ask? Qi Yanxiu, I know you favor the girl from the Lu family. It is futile to contend with her, but can a mere woman like me influence the emperor's decree? Now that you protect her so vehemently, I have no words left, but I am a person of dignity and will not suffer this baseless calamity. I will seek justice. Today, having been schemed against by Lu Jinjin, it was evident they anticipated I would prioritize my family's reputation and accept this disgrace. Yet I was no longer the docile noblewoman I once was. Family reputation? How laughable. My actions today might even earn me a reputation as a fearless woman in the capital. Lu Jinjin's eyes flickered with unease. Sister Jingzhu, this is merely a trivial matter. Why escalate it to the courts? If you are so certain, perhaps it was a misunderstanding in the night. Perhaps a foolish child inadvertently knocked my lantern to the ground. And you happened to pass by. Thus I wronged you. I sincerely apologize. Sister Jingzhu, my eyes were deceived. I am sorry. I chuckled coldly. There is a saying among the common folk. It takes but a mouth to spread rumors, but one must run tirelessly to refute them. Lu Jinjin, do you realize your slander could lead to my ruin? Qi Yanxiu's displeasure was evident. Xin Jingzhu, that is enough. Jinjin has already apologized. What more do you want? I raised my voice. Everyone has heard. I have been wrongfully accused, and I wish to report this to clear my name. This gentleman refuses, and that lady feigns weakness, turning it back into my fault. Why must my life be so miserable? Bystanders pointed and murmured, this is too much, using one's status to bully a weak woman. Are we all blind? Where is justice? The Lu family has truly raised a vixen. Alas, a family's misfortune. On my way home, I hummed a tune. The image of the crown prince and the wretched girl fleeing in disgrace replaying in my mind. Even in dreams, I wore a smile. Following this incident, Qi Yanxiu ceased to trouble me, while my father, upon learning of the events, chastised me severely, punishing me to reflect in the ancestral hall. My mother instructed that no one be allowed to bring me food. Soon, someone from the palace arrived, stating that the noble consort wished to see me. It appeared my aunt was also aware and had come to question me regarding her son. As I entered the inner hall, my aunt greeted me with a wave of sarcasm. I lowered my head in silence, feeling utterly at a loss. Once she had vented her frustrations, I softly confessed, Aunt, I was in the wrong. The other day, I saw my cousin defend that girl from the Lu family to the utmost. You know I admire him. And in my anger, I lost my composure. Please forgive me this once. The noble consort's expression softened, though she remained displeased. Jingzhu, as a royal lady, you cannot even contend with the adopted daughter of a mere minor official. It is truly a disgrace to me. I see your father is right. You are so weak and useless that I cannot expect much from you in the future. I was taken aback. So this was the reason my relatives had cast me aside in my previous life. From a young age, I adhered strictly to the royal etiquette, a demand imposed by my father and others. Little did I expect that my self-discipline and adherence to propriety would render me a useless individual in their eyes. Must I truly adopt the delicate and contrived demeanor of Lu Jinjin, manipulating others at every turn? Ha! How absurd! I calculated the days, knowing that the revelation of Lu Jinjin's true lineage was imminent. If memory serves me right, it would occur next month during the spring banquet, where Lu Jinjin would transform into my stepsister. It was rumored that during my father's time abroad, he took a foreign woman as a concubine, who soon bore a child. Tragically, the woman passed away after giving birth, and on his journey home, my father encountered bandits and nearly lost his life, while the infant daughter was taken from him. I had thought that child had perished long ago, only to discover later that she had been adopted by the Lu family. In my previous life, I was greatly shocked upon learning this, finding it all rather suspicious. The bandits had vanished without a trace, and my father searched in vain for many years, only for them to resurface just as I was about to become the crown princess. Before long, Lu Xinjin was brought into the East Palace of my cousin, the Crown Prince, becoming the apple of his eye. I dispatched someone to investigate discreetly, uncovering that everything was orchestrated by my cousin, while my profit-driven father resolutely chose to abandon me, his own daughter, and welcomed the impostor sister with open arms, pledging loyalty to the Crown Prince. In my previous life, my father threatened me to keep this matter secret, while my mother urged me to think twice, coercing me into submission. To my father, a daughter was merely a stepping stone in his political career. Whether one more or one less mattered not, for we were all mere pawns. The more I pondered, the deeper my resentment grew. What family honor, what bond of blood. The suffering they inflicted upon me would be repaid in full. The spring banquet, the harbinger of my previous nightmares, and this time, I awaited it with frenzied anticipation. During this time, my cousin the Crown Prince frequently summoned me, seeking to atone for his past transgressions. He dispatched various treasures to me, which I returned unopened. I understood his intentions. He sent people to subtly inquire about my conversations with my aunt on that day. Was he not merely concerned for the welfare of Lu Xinjin, the one he cherished? His feigned affection had often left me feeling sorrowful in my previous life. I recalled that he had never expressed such sentiment towards me. Ever since I was designated as his wife by the emperor in our youth, every girl blossoming in love had been his focus. I once believed I must not be good enough, which was why he distanced himself from me. But gradually, I came to understand that he simply did not favor me. I harbored feelings for him, while he was enamored with another, my dearest friend. Initially, I was infuriated, choosing to avoid them altogether, hoping for a future of mutual respect. Yet, my attempts at humility did not temper their behavior. Rather, they intensified their disdain, besmirching my reputation at every opportunity. My mother advised me to be magnanimous, forewarning that such occurrences would only multiply, and chastised me for my lack of discernment. By day, I maintained the demeanor of a dignified and gentle lady of the minister's household, yet by night, I tossed and turned, tears streaming down my face unbidden. On the day of the banquet, numerous ministers and noble women were invited. My cousin, the Crown Prince, arrived late, presenting a memorial to the emperor, then turning to my father, announcing that his long-lost daughter had been found. My father was ecstatic, rising publicly to express his gratitude to His Highness. The Vice Minister of Justice appeared troubled, standing to recount the hidden truths of the past. The three of them wove an elaborate web of deception. Lu Xinjin slowly rose, tears streaming down her face, and my mother rushed to embrace her, exclaiming, "My poor child. As long as you return, my sister's life was frail, leaving behind a pitiful little wretch like you. Child, you have suffered so much over the years." My father wept openly in the grand hall, and upon witnessing such a scene, the crowd congratulated the chancellor on his long-awaited reunion with his daughter. I rose with a cold smile. "Hold on. Father, mother, I have observed your search for my sister over the years. Your constant concern has not escaped my notice. But as a daughter, I cannot stand idly by while you recognize a thief as your daughter, disrupting our family." I knelt before the emperor. "Your Majesty, the evidence you hold is false." My father thundered, "Sure, do not cause trouble. Withdraw at once." Lu Xinjin's expression was sorrowful. "Sister Jing Shuer, I have been alone and destitute since childhood. Fortunate to be adopted by the Lu family, blessed with a loving father and a virtuous stepmother, granting me a place to belong. I do not seek anything extravagant, only to find my biological parents in this life and ensure their safety. You have always disliked me due to His Highness's affections, thus I have kept my distance, fearing to displease you. But why, dear sister, do you turn so cold-hearted, even denying me the recognition of my real parents?" The crowd murmured in outrage. "We have heard that the Chancellor's legitimate daughter is gentle and virtuous. Today, she appears to be a spoiled and jealous girl. How disgraceful. And she is to be the future crown princess? Does she deserve it? This Lu family girl is indeed gentle in disposition and beautiful in appearance. Her extraordinary lineage makes her a fitting match for the crown prince." The emperor, unperturbed, commanded with authority, "Miss Shin, do you understand that without concrete evidence, it is a crime to deceive the emperor?" I stood unafraid. "I am willing to stake my life to guarantee that my words are true. Recently, I discovered a ragged individual often lurking outside our estate, which aroused my suspicions. I sent someone to follow him, only to find that he had entered the Liu household and subsequently vanished. I stationed people day and night to observe, and discovered that this person had colluded with the Liu family, harboring sinister intentions to swap identities. Today, upon the Crown Prince's mention of this matter, I realized that he too is involved. This is a grave issue that must not allow these scoundrels to succeed in muddying the Xin family bloodline and tarnishing the royal dignity. The emperor fell into contemplation, silent. I beseech your majesty to grant me permission to consult with his highness on this matter. Granted. I rose and addressed him. Your highness, you just stated that you have discovered the true culprit behind the abduction of my sister. Can you share his whereabouts? Qi Yanxiu coldly replied, he is waiting outside. Oh. May I request that he confront me here? Qi Yanxiu approached me, saying, sure, it seems you will not shed tears until you see the coffin. I recoiled in disgust, silently dismissing him. Do not touch me. He waved his hand. Humph, bring him in. A pale, bloodied man was dragged in. I regarded him. You are He Tianyi. Indeed. He showed no fear, his attitude brazen. I got straight to the point. I have heard that you were once a prominent textile merchant in Luocheng, and your wife was renowned for her exquisite embroidery. Unfortunately, you fell victim to treachery, leading to your family's downfall, which compelled you to turn to banditry. Is that not so? Indeed, I have confessed. What do you wish to inquire, woman? I smirked. I wish to ask, on the day you abducted my sister, what color was the clothing she was wrapped in? White and blue. Very well. What pattern adorned it? He Tianyi replied without hesitation. The fabric was embroidered with a golden cloud pattern, and a lotus flower was printed on the cuffs. His familiarity with events from decades ago betrayed the effort he had put in behind the scenes. A chill ran through me as I thought. Now, for my final two questions, what kind of silk was my sister wearing? The man paused, brow furrowing in thought. With the investigations I had conducted in recent days, along with the clues from my previous life, I had already deduced that this man was merely a pawn, intended to facilitate Liu Xinjin's rise to power. Long ago, when my father had a daughter outside wedlock, my grandmother, upon learning of this, personally crafted a set of garments for that infant from the rare and precious silk known as Lingshu brocade. Though its appearance was indistinguishable from ordinary fabric, it held remarkable qualities of nourishment and comfort. The father, preoccupied with his official duties, merely believed that grandmother had crafted a common brocade for his child, unaware of the profound bond that existed between the grandmother and grandchild. Reflecting upon the past, I often heard my mother lamenting about grandmother's favoritism and bemoaning my father's indifference, yet she would present herself as the epitome of virtue before them. According to the midwife from that time, on the day my father faced calamity, the infant was adorned in garments embroidered by grandmother. Oh, father, how you nostalgically reminisced about your sister, all for the sake of preserving your reputation. What is the matter? Unable to articulate your thoughts, I pressed further. You are so well versed in the style of clothing, being a distinguished textile expert, yet you claim ignorance of the fabric that adorned the infant? How could I not know? That child wore silk brocade. He Tianyi cast a steady glance at my father. Recently, my father had been frequently meeting with others, suggesting he had already conferred with them. I turned back to my father. Is he speaking the truth? Indeed, the garment worn by your sister was sewn by your grandmother with her own hands, and it was made of silk. I chuckled. Ah, father, do you truly love your sister? How is it that you do not even know the type of brocade she wore? When grandmother learned that you had a daughter, she tirelessly sought out the finest silk and brocade to craft a garment for your sister as a birthday gift. Such nonsense. If you do not believe me, today I have brought the proprietor of Weiyun Pavilion, who possesses proof of the transaction with grandmother. I also have a letter from grandmother from a few days ago, in which I specifically inquired about the embroidery technique used for the silk brocade made for my sister, hoping to embroider a mandarin duck knot for my cousin before his wedding, but grandmother stated that the fabric was nearly impossible to find and has long since vanished. I gestured for the middle-aged woman behind me to step forward and presented the letter to the emperor. Your Majesty, please take a look. With both witnesses and evidence at hand, the man kneeling on the floor was sweating profusely. Your Majesty, it has been so long since this matter occurred that my recollection is somewhat muddled, and I can no longer recall the details. You, girl, are utterly unreasonable. I confess to my involvement in that matter, and I have already admitted my guilt. Why do you persist in causing a commotion here? I leaned down. I had no idea there existed someone so eager to seek their own demise. But do not rush. I have one final question. He Tianyi. On the day my sister was abducted in Luocheng, it was the 5th day of the 5th month in the 4th year of Jingqing. On that very day, a tragic incident occurred in Suiwu County, 1,000 miles away, where a band of bandits committed arson, murder, and robbery against a wealthy family named Qin. According to the testimonies of that family, the leader of those bandits was none other than He Tianyi. I would like to ask you, He Tianyi, how could you possibly traverse 1,000 miles to return to your hometown of Luocheng in a single day to commit murder and robbery? Your Majesty, I possess the signed testimony of 50 members of the Qin family, all of whom have attested to He Tianyi's involvement. I implore your Majesty to discern the truth. The hall fell into a profound silence, the Emperor's gaze fierce. You wretched scoundrel, confess your misdeeds. He Tianyi hastily bowed his head, admitting his guilt. Your Majesty, I am aware of my wrongdoings. I was coerced. It was indeed the Lu family that instigated me. I was but a dead man, and the Lu family rescued me from prison, coercing me with the lives of my family to enact this charade, claiming that the crown prince would take care of the aftermath. As his words fell, the court was filled with dread. Qi Yanxiu kicked the man down. Silence, you lunatic. Your words are nothing but nonsense. Father, the man on the ground wailed. I am not He Tianyi. My real name is Lu Ping. 18 years ago, I worked for He Tianyi, but I fled after just 1 year. The Lu family coerced me into impersonating a bandit. I heard from former brothers that He Tianyi had long been killed due to past grievances, which emboldened me to assume his identity. Your Majesty, I speak only the truth. My daughter is merely 3 years old. She knows nothing at all. Just kill me, spare my daughter. Lu Ping exhibited erratic behavior, banging his head against the ground, blood soaking his face, his white hair stained red. My father shielded me with his presence. Shu I had no idea you endured so much. I wronged you. A wave of revulsion coursed through me. Father, do you think you can escape this? The emperor cast aside the earlier testimony submitted by the crown prince. Li Changyu of the Ministry of Justice, I command you to thoroughly investigate this matter. Regardless of who is implicated, they shall face severe punishment without exception. Li Changyu, who had initially been an onlooker, quickly knelt. I shall obey your command. The banquet was hastily concluded. The officials, transitioning from shock to fear, ultimately fell silent, eager to vacate this place of turmoil. My palms were already damp with sweat as I approached the man who had been watching from the doorway. I thank your highness for helping me find witnesses. The third prince, Qi Yanchen, chuckled lightly. Xinjingshu, your actions today have not put the Lu family in a dire situation. What do you intend to do about the outcome? Your highness, my purpose today was never to eliminate the Lu family. I merely sought to muddle the waters. For no one can escape unscathed. He raised an eyebrow. Oh?
You are so certain of that?
I curved my lips slightly. Do you believe the Ministry of Justice is inept? I have faith in Li Changyu. After all, his loyalty lies with the emperor. Furthermore, is there not you, third prince? Qi Yanchen's expression shifted slightly in surprise. Xinjingshu, after doing all this, are you not afraid of death? Do you harbor such hatred for them? Death to me is the least fearful of existences. I gazed at him with detachment. Your highness, do you believe me when I say I have already died once? I fear not death. What I dread is the knowledge that those who have wronged me continue to live freely in this world. I am haunted by nightmares day and night, recalling my past humility, my cowardice, my willingness to endure. And on the day of my wedding, Lu Xinjin, heavily pregnant, accused me of plotting against her child while the crown prince looked on coldly, uttering not a word. It was only when Lu Xinjin collapsed in his embrace that he spoke, and from beginning to end, he uttered just 2 words: break the engagement. In that moment, death felt like a release. I am acutely aware that in this male-dominated era, my capabilities are limited. I require assistance. I need allies. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I have set my sights on the third Prince Qi Yanchen, for he does not align with any faction, yet remains the most inscrutable among the princes. His mother was once the emperor's most favored consort, but tragically, she passed away due to illness when he was just 9 years old. Whispered rumors suggest hidden truths connected to his aunt. Qi Yanchen has possessed exceptional knowledge and courage since childhood, winning the emperor's favor, but after his mother's death, he inevitably faced neglect despite the emperor's protection. The emperor sent him to the frontier at the age of 13 to accompany the general on military campaigns. This meant Qi Yanchen effectively withdrew from the struggle for imperial power. In my previous life, Qi Yanchen departed for the southern frontier shortly after attending the spring banquet. This time, I sent someone to inquire. However, the capital is relatively small, yet finding a living person proved exceedingly difficult. My associates exerted considerable effort, navigating various channels to secure an appointment with him. I know Qi Yanchen dislikes engaging in court disputes, yet I proposed an alliance, enticing him with the prospect of avenging his mother. I rambled on, analyzing his current predicament, subtly indicating the advantages of our cooperation, yet he remained aloof, silent. His gaze inscrutable. A chill ran down my spine. It felt as though I had provoked a wolf. Alas, it seemed I had failed to move him. I would need to devise another approach. Just as I pondered how to extricate myself, he suddenly spoke. Deal. Shunjing Shu, what is your confidence level of victory? I contemplated for a moment, about 80%. Qi Yanchen scoffed. Lackluster. If you are to do it with full conviction. After the spring banquet, the capital was rife with unease. This incident not only exposed the Liu family's deceit, but also entangled the crown prince in a web of secrets. The Liu family members were all detained by the Ministry of Justice for interrogation, and even the crown prince was placed under house arrest, unable to be summoned. My father, cunning and astute, returned home the same night after being summoned for questioning by the Ministry of Justice. I had anticipated an outburst of fury, yet he surprised me by calling me over affectionately. Sure, this incident was greatly aided by you. Otherwise, I would have fallen into the traps set by those wicked men. He continued, tomorrow, the ministry will summon you for questioning, my dear daughter. Everything you do is for the sake of our family, and I will support you wholeheartedly. I recoiled in exaggerated disbelief. Father, your trust in me fills me with trepidation. The tender display you shared with the daughter of the Liu family in the grand hall still lingers vividly in my memory. The prime minister, flustered, replied, sure. That is all in the past. I assure you, from now on, I recognize only you as my daughter. The mistakes of my past shall be rectified. I raised an eyebrow. It has always been a natural order for fathers to love their children. Everything I do is for the Shin family. There is no need for such concern. The prime minister, tears streaming down his face, declared, sure, you are truly my good daughter. I discreetly withdrew my hand. Father, the hour grows late, and you have exerted yourself greatly today. It is best you retire early. Sure about tomorrow. Do not worry, father. I shall remain composed and speak wisely. Rest assured, you will sleep soundly tonight. In the following days, I felt a sense of exhilaration, relishing my meals and experiencing fewer nightmares. Father, how many nights of peaceful slumber do you have left? The powerful prime minister? It seems time for a change. The next day, I handed over the evidence I had gathered to Li Changyu and learned that my father had not directly participated in this incident. It turned out that he was fully aware of the crown princess scheme, but chose not to expose it, feigning belief and willingly cooperating with the crown prince while accepting the counterfeit Liu Xinjin. According to Li Changyu, my father was in tears, believing he had truly found his daughter, only to be deceived by the Liu family and the crown prince, failing to see their true nature. My father, a master of theatrics. I had always known his depths, yet I never anticipated they ran this deep. The crown prince, my cousin, had been detained at the ministry for questioning, and even my aunt had fallen out of favor with the emperor. I heard that my cousin admitted to orchestrating the Liu family's deception, claiming that Liu Xinjin was innocent, and that everything was the result of his collusion with Liu's father. I could never comprehend why my cousin was so infatuated with Liu Xinjin. If it were merely her beauty and cunning, such women abound in the palace. He should not have been so fixated. It was only in my previous life, after being accused of harming my sisters and tarnishing the royal reputation, that I learned the truth in prison. My cousin had an early connection with Liu Xinjin. In his youth, he was rebellious, and with my aunt's lack of affection, he was often bullied by other young princes and palace servants. One frigid winter, a small, delicate girl approached him, offering a steaming sweet potato, and in that moment, his icy heart melted. He asked for her name, and she replied, I am Zhener, the youngest daughter of the Liu family. So that was it. The girl I encountered years ago was indeed her. For a moment, I found myself at a loss as to whom to blame. Should I blame myself for not clarifying matters with my cousin, for sending Lu Xinjin to warm his heart with sweet potatoes? Or should I blame Lu Xinjin for not revealing the truth to him, or perhaps my cousin for being blind and heartless, clinging to the past while disregarding familial bonds? The memories of my past life flooded back. I had shared my youthful experiences with my cousin in hopes of evoking a semblance of kindness, only to receive a slap and harsh words that I was merely quibbling in the face of death. Even though fate had played its hand, he was deceived by Lu Xinjin, yet no matter how it unfolded, I remained his blood relative. His willingness to drown in romantic folly, neglecting kinship, was enough for me to harbor deep resentment toward him. In recent days, I had been in frequent contact with Qi Yanqing regarding the Lu family matter, while the crown prince's factionalism was directly overseen by the emperor. I assured Qi Yanqing that he need not hesitate because I was Shun Zhao's daughter. He could investigate impartially. Qi Yanqing, curious, remarked, "Are you not concerned for your safety? If your father encounters trouble, you will inevitably be implicated. It matters not. I am prepared to sacrifice for justice, and perhaps the emperor might even bestow upon me a title of duchess." He chuckled. "You certainly have a way of thinking. Rest assured, Shen Jingshu, while I am here, you shall not come to harm." I replied nonchalantly, "Then I extend my thanks to His Highness." This tumultuous affair concluded with the onset of winter. It turned out that my unfortunate younger sister had been brutally killed by those villains and carelessly discarded by the roadside. The band of robbers disbanded the following year due to internal strife, some meeting their demise while others fled. The Lu family, implicated in collusion with the crown prince, forgery, and treachery against the emperor, faced the emperor's wrath. All the men were executed, while the women were exiled to desolate lands. The crown prince, Qi Yanxiu, conspired with external officials, plotting treason, and was stripped of his royal status, reduced to commoner status, and imprisoned for life in the ancestral hall. Prime Minister Xin Zhao, implicated in collusion with the crown prince, voluntarily confessed and expended his wealth to aid the impoverished, resulting in a 5-level demotion to Deputy Minister of Revenue. In this chaotic aftermath, Lu Xinjin emerged unscathed. She had never been officially recognized in the Lu family tree. My cousin, in a desperate bid to protect her, claimed that she was entirely oblivious to the events, taking full responsibility for all wrongdoing. "Qi Yanxiu, you truly are a romantic fool." I bit into a loquat in frustration. "Lu Xinjin, you are quite the schemer." "Shen Jingshu, where has your genteel demeanor gone?" "I have discarded it. My father confined me within our household, seemingly intent on silencing me, incessantly interrogating me about my actions." I collapsed to the ground, wiping the blood from my lips, laughing maniacally. "Father, you dare not kill me. I am all that you can rely upon now." My mother struck me fiercely, decrying my sins. My father was demoted, the crown prince deposed, and Qi Yanqing ascended, becoming the new crown prince and future ruler. The emperor, recognizing my contribution in exposing the Lu family's treachery, bestowed upon me the title of Duchess Anqi. Though the crown prince had changed, I remained destined to be the future crown princess. While Lu Xinjin enjoyed Qi Yanxiu's protection and escaped the fate of exile, her reputation lay in ruins. The capital now knew her as a femme fatale. She traversed the city precariously, facing scorn and isolation, her life a veritable torment. Rumor had it that Qi Yanxiu secretly sent aid to Lu Xinjin and frequently met with her under the cover of night. How brazen of them! Even as prisoners they remain undisciplined. Reflecting on their orchestrated encounters, I schemed to create my own stroke of serendipity. When Lu Xinjin appeared at the side entrance of the ancestral hall, I sent someone to detain her. With a pleasant demeanor, I remarked, "What a coincidence, Lu family sister." "Oh, I forgot. You are no longer a member of the Lu family." Lu Xinjin gritted her teeth, her previously charming face now a mask of fury. "Shen Jingshu, what are you so proud of? Do you think you have triumphed?" I smirked. "What do you mean?" Her face twisted in resentment. She retorted, "All your schemes were to win the crown prince's favor, yet now, even stripped of everything, he still loves me. He has never loved you. The crown prince has told me he despises you, especially now. He would gladly see you dead. Shen Jingshu, you have lost utterly. You will never surpass me in this life." I was at a loss for words. "Lu Xinjin, are you truly this foolish? Do you think I covet Qi Yanxiu? Do you think I yearn to be the crown princess?" My only desire has always been to see you and Qi Yanxiu descend into hell. As for that title, it was a royal imposition upon me, one I have never cared about. Now, Qi Yanxiu is in hell, and you are merely half a step away from it. Thus, our enmity is far from resolved. You venomous woman, is it merely because I have taken away Qi Yanxiu that you harbor such intense hatred for me? The madness was palpable as I approached her step by step. Lu Jinjin, are you certain you merely stole a worthless man? You seem to covet my very life. Lu Jinjin trembled. What do you mean? Had I not stepped forward to unveil the treachery of your Lu family during the spring feast? What fate would have befallen Qi Yanxiu? What would have become of you? What drives your desire to enter my Shin family? Are you not aware of your own intentions? Her face was a mask of terror as she recoiled. I continued, I am the legitimate daughter of the Prime Minister. Even if you were to infiltrate my family, you would forever remain beneath me. As long as I draw breath, you shall never ascend to the status of the Crown Princess, but rather be relegated to that of a concubine. And you aspire to be the Crown Princess, perhaps even the future Empress. Thus, my demise is imperative, is it not? Lu Jinjin lost her composure. Yes. Shin Jingshu, do you not wish for that? You speak so grandly. Yet why do you not inform your aunt that you do not wish to be the Crown Princess? Why not tell the Emperor to annul the engagement? You have monopolized that position. Do you not understand that every time I hear others refer to you as the future Crown Princess, it grates on my ears, rendering it unbearable? Aside from your superior lineage, what makes you think you surpass me in any other aspect? I chuckled softly. Lu Jinjin, one who lacks shame is invincible in this world. Today I have truly witnessed that. Unlike you, I do not forsake my family for selfish desires. I hear your father wishes to see you from his prison, yet you have rejected him time and again. He raised you for 16 years and is now on the brink of execution for your sake. Lu Jinjin, how can you be so heartless? He is simply foolish. His every action riddled with blunders. Now he is a serious offender in the court. If he truly cared for me, he would not seek me out at this perilous time. Lu Jinjin had completely lost her sanity, her eyes gleaming with malice. I spoke gently. And what of your crown prince? He is the mastermind behind all these events. Do you believe him to be a fool as well? Lu Jinjin turned her head, her expression icy. Do not attempt to deceive me. I wish to be the crown princess, but my feelings for the crown prince are genuine. I smiled. Is that so? Then why have you been frequently encountering the son of the minister at the drunken immortal pavilion? You previously wouldn't even spare him a glance. Why this newfound enthusiasm? You should have mentioned earlier that Qi Yanqing is acquainted with him. If you wish, I can introduce you. Why demean yourself and risk embarrassment? Shen Jingshu, you wretched woman. Cease your words. I closed the distance between us. Am I mistaken? You attempted to seduce the minister's son and were cast out in disgrace. The entire capital knows how you shamelessly used Qi Yanxiu's wealth to pursue other men. You are nothing but a harlot. Shin Jingshu, I will kill you. It is because of you that I lost my position. I was on the verge of success, and it is all your fault. Why do you not die? I raised an eyebrow. Had Lu Jinjin truly lost her mind? I instructed my men to seize her, binding her limbs, and lightly declared, 20 slaps. It hurts. You vile wretch, Shin Jingshu, may you meet a terrible end. Add another 20. Soon, Lu Jinjin's face was crimson, and she collapsed to the ground. I lifted my foot and stomped down on her face, so soft and utterly revolting. Lu Jinjin, tell me, Qi Yanxiu is just inside. Why does he not come to your rescue? Did he not risk his life for you? Shin Jingshu, you snake-hearted woman. Lu Jinjin weakly crawled towards me but fainted after just a few steps. That day, the side door of the ancestral hall remained firmly shut, with only the cold wind whistling through. After my father had demoted himself, he languished in gloom, perpetually dreaming of a resurgence, seeking the opportune moment to lament before me. One moment, he would admit fault, the next he would plead for mercy. All he desired was for me to speak a few kind words on his behalf before the third prince, hoping to revive his political career. I found it tiresome, often responding with perfunctory remarks. Qi Yanqing mentioned that my cousin wished to see me. I replied nonchalantly, after I exposed Lu Jinjin's true colors before him. He would not be settling scores at this time, would he? Do you wish to go? I rested my chin on my hand, feigning profundity. Yes. I suppose it is time to bring certain matters to a conclusion. Qi Yanqing's eyes darkened, shrouded in a gloomy aura. Xinjing Shu. I queried. What is it? Your title as a princess does not suit you. I shall request my father to bestow upon you a new one. Oh, I think it is quite fine. It is not suitable. It is lovely. It is not. It is. The weather had turned chilly, with delicate snowflakes falling. When I next encountered Qi Yanxiu, he appeared gaunt, devoid of any spark in his eyes. We exchanged silence for a lengthy moment before he finally spoke. Sure, I have wronged you. I smiled. It matters not. You have already faced your retribution. As I turned to leave, I gazed skyward, catching the crystalline snowflakes in my hand. It is quite cold, cousin. Would you like some sweet potatoes? His eyes widened in astonishment. Sure. What did you just say? Why mention sweet potatoes? Sure, stop. Clarify your words. The guards obstructed his path, and I smiled softly, resolutely departing from that desolate place. I have forgotten which year it was. I only remember that winter when I first developed frostbite on my hands. Once, I accompanied my mother into the palace to visit my ailing aunt. But I did not see my cousin, which left me feeling disheartened. Even at a young age, still bearing the innocence of childhood, I stealthily slipped out to seek him. I spotted him alone, kneeling in the icy snow, but when I attempted to approach, a palace maid blocked my way. The maid, impatient, declared, "The fifth prince has offended Consort Li and is currently being punished. No one is permitted to approach. Whose daughter are you? So ignorant of the rules. Begone." I glared at her, yet felt utterly powerless. My cousin looked so pitiful. I wiped my tears and snuck into the royal kitchen to steal 2 sweet potatoes, though I lost one along the way. However, with the palace maid on guard, I could not get close. A petite girl passed by, and I tugged at her, pleading for her assistance. The girl was terrified and attempted to flee, but I clung to her with a sorrowful face. My mother would often give small gifts to those who helped her, so I offered the delicate gold bracelet my father had given me for my birthday. Eventually, after much coaxing and imploring, the girl relented and agreed to help. I removed my warm fur coat along with the sweet potatoes and devised a plan to distract the palace maid, asking the girl to deliver these items to my cousin in the distance. After successfully diverting the maid, I was taken back by my mother. Perhaps the sweet potatoes were too hot, as blisters formed on my palms. My mother scolded me for my actions, and I hung my head in silence. Just as before, after my cousin was bullied by wicked individuals, I sought opportunities to subtly avenge him, yet these actions were entirely contrary to my mother's teachings. I was acutely aware of my mother's temperament and feared implicating my cousin, so I swallowed my grievances and kept them hidden from others. At the time, I thought it was commonplace, believing that as long as my cousin was well, my heart would be content. In my previous life, I earnestly explained my intentions to my cousin, yet he met my words with impatience and disbelief. This time, I merely hinted at it, and he could no longer contain himself, begging me to clarify. Later on, rumors spread throughout the capital that the former crown prince of the ancestral hall had gone mad, muttering to himself, "It is wrong, all wrong." When I heard this news, I was pulling Qi Yanqing in disguise to a theater to enjoy a performance. "Your Highness, shall we request the peace pleasure in retribution today? You decide. But I must say, you seem quite joyous today. Do share the reason with me." I teased. "You will find out after hearing this piece." Qi Yanqing remained silent, yet a smile began to bloom on his lips. My heart trembled. Was this person being intentional? As for Lu Jinjin, since parting ways at the Zhongren mansion, I have not seen her again. It has come to my attention that she has fallen into the depths of the brothel district and has risen to become the top courtesan there. Perhaps she has returned to a life of adulation, rekindling her dreams of becoming the prince's consort, even going so far as to send someone to inquire about Qi Yanqing's whereabouts. Qi Yanqing is now the illustrious prince, enjoying the emperor's favor to an extent that far surpasses that of Qi Yanxiu. I scoffed. Lu Jinjin is indeed beyond redemption. I had thought that since she had sunk so low, willingly becoming someone else's plaything, as long as she kept to herself and refrained from courting disaster, I would spare her a wretched existence. Alas, she insisted on being a nuisance, and thus I could not be blamed. I jested with Qi Yanqing. "I have delightful news for His Highness. A peerless beauty intends to offer herself to you tonight." You are in for a stroke of fortune. He frowned. Ashu. This is hardly amusing. If you are unwilling, would you mind if I took your place? Qi Yanqing smiled. What devious scheme are you concocting? Do you require assistance? I waved my fan and departed with a light-hearted air. However, Lu Xinjin has become increasingly foolish, bribing a servant at Qingfeng Pavilion with the sordid intention of drugging Qi Yanqing to ensnare him. Coincidentally, my father has recently shown favor to a dancer at Qingfeng Pavilion, frequently staying out overnight. Unlike the brothel district, Qingfeng Pavilion is a favored haunt for the city's nobles and high-ranking officials. Such a serendipitous opportunity for a scoundrel and a wanton woman to unite. I deliberately sent someone to mislead Lu Xinjin into the wrong room, and naturally, the drug she prepared fell into my father's hands. My mother has been vexed with me lately, scolding me for being ungrateful and unworthy of being her daughter, neglecting my parents in pursuit of my own pleasures. That evening, I leisurely observed my mother vent her frustrations, and when she grew weary from her tirade, I seized the chance to incite her to catch my father in the act at Qingfeng Pavilion. The next day, the capital was abuzz with news of the Lu family's foster daughter, a siren who had become the concubine of a former prime minister, caught red-handed by the matriarch, leading to a raucous scene of an elderly woman and a young one engaged in a fierce struggle. My father lost face before his colleagues, becoming the subject of ridicule throughout the city, and took leave from court, retreating to the mansion. Lu Xinjin, upon regaining consciousness, was despondent, and my father, wishing to avoid further trouble, took her into the inner courtyard. Initially, she garnered his affection, but soon fell out of favor. My mother could not swallow her indignation. The girl she once cherished had become her husband's concubine. Infuriated by her husband's infidelities, my mother languished in bed for half a month. Once she regained her vitality, her greatest pleasure became tormenting Lu Xinjin. My father's other concubines were not to be underestimated, and the household of the Shin family was rife with unrest. Gradually, my father grew weary, lamenting his folly too late. Not long after, Lu Xinjin succumbed to illness, already several months pregnant at the time of her death. As spring arrived, I returned to the ancestral home in Jiangnan to visit my grandmother, a place that had once been the source of my youthful joy and carefree spirit. Disguised, I wandered the streets, savoring various exotic delicacies, feeling as though I had truly found my realm. Perhaps I had overindulged in my merriment, for I unfortunately caught a chill. My grandmother admonished me to rest and forbade me from roaming about for a few days. I obediently acquiesced, lamenting my inability to attend the cherry blossom viewing the following day. As I lay in bed, sleep eluded me. Vengeance had been served, and all had received their due retribution. Soon, I would ascend to the esteemed status of the prince's consort, a prospect that should have filled me with joy. Yet I felt an inexplicable dread and restlessness instead. The following day, my grandmother informed me that a young gentleman had come to see me, claiming to be my closest friend. I was taken aback. My closest friend? Upon seeing the visitor, it was Qi Yanqing. I rose, Your Highness? What brings you here? Qi Yanqing, displeased, replied, You are my princess. You are unwell, so I came to check on you. What is the issue? But I only fell ill last night. How could you? What concern is it of yours? Very well. It seemed he was in a foul mood, and I would not provoke him. Qi Yanqing spent several days with me. Perhaps out of concern for my illness, he was relatively accommodating, allowing me to drag him into my playful antics. When he departed, he stood by the window in silence, while I lay in bed, pondering what thoughts occupied his mind. After a long pause, he squatted beside my bed and gazed at me. Ashu, are you happy now? Well, having avenged myself, with power, influence, and wealth at my disposal, I should be exceedingly joyous. He fell silent once more, making me uneasy. Ashu, tell me what you desire. I shall fulfill it all. His gaze was earnest, and for some reason, a thought surged in my heart. I do not wish to be the prince's consort. I long for freedom. Is that possible? Certainly, Ashu. Whatever you desire, you shall have. In June of the 21st year of Jingqing, the prince's consort, personally bestowed by the emperor, tragically succumbed to illness in Jiangnan at the tender age of 17. The prince, grieving, shut himself away for 10 days. The bustling Tsuewu County prepared for the annual Baigua Fengqing Festival, a grand event held only once every 3 years. I leaned in closely to scrutinize the announcement on the wall. Behind me, Whispers circulated regarding the recent demise of the prince's consort, while others speculated on the novelties to be showcased at the festival. I was more intrigued by the latter, delighted to have come to the right place today. I lower my hat, and the sound of horses' hooves faded into the distance. The end of the text. Thank you for listening. Until we meet again in the next tale.